Hello, everybody. Welcome to Political Football, NFL Week 11 and pre-Thanksgiving edition. We are producing the show as we go here. So, first of all, let me say that we're part of the Mad Ice Media Network, madicemedia.com. Find a bunch of other great podcasts, including The Manual by one Clev, who just dropped off the call. I will stop talking about his podcast now that he's gone. And also, we are joined here by Scott Bischoff. Scott, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. So, spoiler for the listeners, but Clev and I started the show offline via text about 40 minutes ago. Just going back and forth about whose franchise is worse, the Lions or the Jets. And while we were getting into it, it was really pretty sad for any fan of a real organization to be reading us getting so fired up about the Lions and the Jets. Now, we do have some time constraints tonight, so I'm going to hold some of the garbage games for later. It might be just me talking about Sam Darnold taking over for Baker Mayfield, but that's okay. We'll spare the co-host that. We're going to get right into the good games. First of all, Cleve, say something.
Yo, what's going on? You guys got me coming in?
Yes, yeah. You are on the space station.
I'm orbiting. I'm orbiting Earth right now.
You are as close to Devontae Adams as that safety was.
So not close at all.
Yeah, no, not close at all. So because Cleve is on this mission with NASA, I'm not sure how long we're going to have him, and then Scott apparently has to be a family man or whatever. Yeah. So I'm going to get into the games I'm assuming that we like and want to discuss first. Starting with the game I want to start with here. The Jets 3 at the Patriots 10.
Awful.
Cleve, the floor is yours.
Well, I mean, being a devout fan of this team since 1984, I have never been. I mean, there's been some really bad losses that we've had over the decades that I've been a fan, but to see that many punts, that many 3-and-outs, 77 yards. I mean, if it was up to me, he wouldn't have gotten a paycheck. I know it's a hard thing to say because it's a very hard job and it's one of 32 that are out there, but that was absolutely abysmal football by both those teams actually. But again, you know, the Patriots has a storied past. I don't know. And then the presser really turned me off because Jets Nation probably feels the same way about this. Like, he didn't own it. He didn't own any of it. Little bastard that he is just basically like, it ain't on me. You know, that defense is out there playing. That team is hungry to play. You know, after the holidays, you know, this team's ready to play into the playoffs. But again, as I said weeks ago, 77 yards ain't gonna do it when you're going up against some of these elite quarterbacks in the division. I mean, Tua would tear these guys apart in a shootout. You know, so I don't know what Saleh is thinking, and hopefully we see somebody else. But I don't think this kid is going to be a future quarterback with this team, and I wouldn't want him to be a future quarterback with this team.
So my note last week going into this game was, is Zach Wilson any good? And I think definitively we can say no. Cleve's referenced the 77 yards a couple times here. 9 of 22, 77
we can't
yards.
Definitively say anything.
Yeah, we can. This guy sucks. This guy sucks.
Right now, yes. But, I mean, it is still so early in his career.
All we've gotten from him is I'm sorry, Scott. All we gotten from him is injuries and this.
Oh, I know. I get it. I get it. And the press conference was awful. It was awful. And to me, the press conference was worse than the performance in the game. Like,
oh yeah,
whoever asked him the question, they lobbed him a softball.
Yes,
and he just rejected the concept that he could have helped himself. That's the problem. He doesn't think he needs to help himself. But you know,
here's the problem.
He got time there.
Here's the problem, Scott, and here's why I'm willing to say that this guy sucks. The team around him doesn't. He has a good defense. He's got good receivers. They lost Breece Hall, but Michael Carter is better than some of these running backs. Some of these good teams are trotting out there as well. Offensive line has some issues, but so do some other young quarterbacks who are doing better. Yeah. He is not performing at all. Like not even a little bit.
He was missing guys wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that he's not necessarily showing any improvement either. It's not like you can see where there's a trend where, okay, he's playing poorly, but, if we look at this block of 4 games, it was better than the previous. It's more like it's gone somewhat sideways. I don't think we can this is just my perspective, whatever. I don't think that you can write the story. The story's not over for his career right now. He has time.
It depends on how you define career. If you find it as starting quarterback of the New York Jets, this could be over right now.
It could be it could end quickly. Yeah.
And I agree with Dave wholeheartedly. And on the merit of the market, although the team sucks, that New York market, he ain't gonna cut it up there, bro. He ain't gonna cut it up.
No, and that's probably been the most disappointing thing for as a guy. I liked him coming out. Just the general sort of whatever kind of attitude.
He's not mature. He's not mature. And you said it on this show, Scott, multiple times, over the last few weeks. He just needs to grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Take it on the chin. As a quarterback, any one of these guys, Josh Allen comes out, hey, you know what? It's my fault. Saying that with a 300-yard game behind him.
Right.
Saying it was my fault. I fucked up. I got to play better. 77 fucking yards. Me, you, and Dave can get 100 yards in the NFL. I put money on that.
I could get 77 yards in an NFL game throwing to Garrett Wilson.
There you go.
It would be 3-yard fades all the way down the field, but I could do it.
You could see the frustration from specifically Garrett Wilson in that game.
Yeah.
There were a couple moments in the game where it was just like, what are we doing? And I think those things go a long way. Like when you see superstar, the very talented players, especially young ones, frustrated. And then you go into the press conference and you're given an opportunity to kind of not fall on the sword, but you're given an opportunity to express that, I let us down and I need to be better. And you
be a leader.
Yeah. Yes, that's missing. Yeah.
And they've got Joe Flacco in the room. So this is because Joe Flacco is 37, so he's a year or two younger than I am, and Garrett Wilson is 21 or 22 right now. And so I think about like my cousin Sydney, who's 22, and like the age gap between us, and how to her I seem like grandpa, right? Like so from the young Jets, they've got grandpa in the room who can get them the ball, is a leader, probably makes them feel like they're getting better at the game. Mm-hmm. I don't see how they don't go to Joe Flacco, especially because he'll have a winning record. Like, it's not a lost year for them. They should try to win this year.
Correct.
And so, Cleve, do you support them going to Flacco?
I go to Flacco or White Mike. My last thing on this is basically, and I think between the two of you guys saying this over this show and over the many other shows that we've done, I mean, if you're a receiver, right, and your quarterback has 77 yards, your next contract is predicated on your production as well, and you're not hosting these big games. Stephon Diggs just hit 1,000 yards for the 5th time.
Yeah.
Right? Consecutively. So you're looking at that and you're like, I'm getting 15 yard, of the target share, 15 yards a game. Come on, man, got to do better than that.
Yeah. One last thing I do want to mention on this game too. I'm sure the listeners at this point know, but the Patriots won this game on a walk-off punt return, which is just absolutely insane. The only other punt return walk-off I can think of is the Deshaun Jackson one. Cleve, you've been watching football since 1934. Have you seen any others?
Walk-off? I'm pretty sure Hester has a couple.
Yeah. And so, Cleve, just for today, I've done you the favor. I've changed your name on the screen. You're now Punt Coverage Cleve.
That's fucking brutal.
Take it out of bounds.
That is brutal. I mean, that was. It only had to end like that. That game was so awful. It had to end like that. That's the only way that game ends.
Well, and that's one thing. Just for a general theme for the week, most of the games weren't good at all. But I think every game either ended well, even though it was bad, or told us something definitive in hindsight. But at the time when I was watching them, I was like, just my eyes were bleeding watching Mac Jones and Zach Wilson battle it out. So that's the Jets and the Patriots. And again, the Jets have a chance to do something here, so they should try to take that. Second game I have on the list here, Eagles 17 at the Colts 16. This is another one where it was just a brutal game to watch. The Eagles didn't get anything going, but the Colts are definitely playing a lot better with Jeff Saturday right now. And the Eagles, though, what we saw from them is we saw a team that goes on the road, is in a tough spot, and is still able to fight and come out with the win. And Cleve, what do you think about the Eagles this week?
I mean, they're winning ugly. They've been doing that all season, from what we've been seeing. I mean, they're winning games. A win is a win in the NFL, and what I loved about it was Hurts taking the game into his hands and that touchdown. And any other quarterback gets stopped in that moment. It was a great run. But yeah, it's just Saturday's definitely got these guys fired up, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm rooting for Jeff because I don't want them to get a great draft pick, but it's like, he's got these boys playing ball.
He does.
Very quickly too. It's super interesting how that happened.
Well, it's funny, Scott. I have a note here. I wrote down, can the Colts continue to improve with Jeff Saturday? And then I answered it yes, though a lot of this improvement is from playing the shambling course of Matt Ryan instead of XFL backup Sam Ehlinger, as well as getting Jonathan Taylor healthy.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, I have questions. Who made the decision to sit Matt Ryan? I think we know that, right? I mean, I think that's an upper management.
All Texas booger sugar.
And it's like, so if you made the decision to sit Matt Ryan because you didn't want to pay him, and now interim coach comes in and gets you to see the way, the light that you need to play Matt Ryan, and yes, Jonathan Taylor's rolling again. I mean, it's great that Jeff Saturday is able to get him to that point, but you still have a problem. There are problems there, starting with their owner.
Sure.
But no, I mean, I think it's great. I think and one of the things that's great about is that it's the Jeff Saturday hire pisses off people, and it's unconventional, but at this point it's working. I mean, I think that, Dave, we talked this offline. I think the Jeff Saturday interim hire is a potential, PowerPoint presentation at a future Brian Flores trial kind of thing.
Yes.
Now, it's not a Rooney Rule deal, but it's still something that just reeks. Like, come on. But, from a sense of doing things in a very different way and having it work, congratulations. That's awesome. I mean, it's great that that's working.
The thing, too, about the Rooney Rule thing with them is that the two head coordinators with experience on staff were John Fox and Gus Bradley, who are both white. If it was like Todd Bowles and Leslie Frazier, and
no
jumped both of them,
John Fox and whoever else you mentioned, whoever. Yeah. I don't want those guys as part of I don't want them coaching for me. Do you?
Well, John has a Super Bowl with Del Holmes, an appearance.
But that's so long ago, and he's just a failure in recent times. I mean, what really ruined him, and I think Dave said this a couple weeks ago, was his beer stint, because he stunk it up there so bad. They're like, fuck that. You can't have this guy at the helm again anywhere. Yeah, no. And that's the way I felt about both those guys. Like, Gus Bradley doesn't belong as a head coach anywhere.
No, they don't. They don't, for sure, but they are more qualified than Jeff Saturday for the position. So I'm saying that for Brian Flores purposes, the Colts are lucky they didn't have Steve Wilkes and Eric Bieniemy on staff.
Oh, for sure. They are. But what is I'll be quick. What is the Jeff Saturday position? He's the head coach. Those guys are still doing their jobs as their position coaches or their coordinator responsibilities. His job is just to kind of keep everything going in the right direction. Fine. That's cool. Do that. Right? Like you don't necessarily need to pull Sean McVay into Indy to get things rolling in the right direction. If Saturday's capable of doing it, that's great. It's just there's like a good thing, bad thing here. It's like I do think that this is everything people bitch about with the NFL. Like you just brought in some random white high school coach. and like, okay, cool. I'm glad it's working for him because he seems like a good guy. But yeah, it's interesting how quickly they've turned that thing around in 2 weeks,
Cleve, we have lost video with the space station. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm trying to adjust.
No,
I heard you guys.
No worries. Instead of cover zero, Cleve, right now you're zero gravity, Cleve. just floating around up there. All right. Next game here, again, a game that sucked because it should have, and it was very interesting at the end. The Raiders 22 at the Broncos 16 in overtime.
Oh, this is the fired bowl. This is the who's going to get fired bowl.
I cannot believe Nathaniel Hackett's not already at home ready to burn the turkey, and he's still employed after this. So the Raiders went on a walk-off touchdown to Devontae Adams, like 45-yard touchdown. And when I say there was no defender within 15 yards of him, he was like literally, he could have caught the ball and rolled into the end zone.
It was a sweet route. It really was.
Yeah, he dusted everybody, but like you think I want three guys on him, who else are they going to throw to? Mac Hollins?
I know. Why are you singling him up? Yeah.
Yeah. So
and that was Surtain too, right? Like he torched Surtain on that play.
Yeah, he did. He just absolutely dusted him. Like good job. Thanks for playing. We'll see you later. I think Surtain wants the coach gone. I think he was like, you know what? I go and get torched by a Hall of Famer here and maybe move on from this coach. So Cleve, here's my question for you. Sure. You have to lock one in for the next 3 years for the Jets. The next 3 years. Zach Wilson is quarterback or Nathaniel Hackett is coach?
Oh my God.
Oh man. Damn, that's brutal. That's brutal. Well, I'll take Zachy boy. Yeah, I can't. The coaching with Hackett is it's unbelievable. It's unreal, and again, it shows you the currency of getting a job when you probably promised Aaron Rodgers, and that didn't happen.
So if he's your coach, does he bring Aaron Rodgers to town?
No.
He's completely incompetent. He's incompetent.
Yes. So after the first game, he brings in somebody to teach him how to like make fourth down decisions. And then this game, he gives up the play calling duties, and he's an offensive coordinator. So what exactly, if he's not making game theory decisions and he's not calling plays, what exactly is it you do here?
I would show up in a mascot outfit. The Denver Broncos horse thing, whatever that is, I guess it's a Bronco. I would show up as that on the sideline, just standing with a clipboard. What else are you gonna do? Like that's all you got. That's all you got left.
Yeah, that's Ben with an incredible stat here. Ben says he read that if the Broncos had scored 18 points in every game this year, they'd be 9-1. I'm not able to fact check that, but it feels right because their defense is pretty good. They just cannot score any points whatsoever.
Can we talk about the Melvin Gordon meme leaving? Come on. That is the perfect way to get waived by a football team.
Khalid, did you see this?
I saw something, but I didn't see much of it. But I think I know what Scott's talking about.
Yes, I'll describe it. I'll describe it for the audio listeners here. By the way, for audio listeners, this is a YouTube live stream. Link in the show notes. Like, subscribe, YouTube, all that. He photoshopped his like headshot from his stats page into the front seat of OJ's Bronco with all the cop cars behind it as him leaving town and leaving the Broncos.
And said something along the lines of, we might as well have some fun as we end this, or whatever it was. It was great.
I mean, it's, Black Monday's coming.
Yeah, but also the Broncos, Javonte Williams is hurt. They cut Melvin Gordon. Mike Boone is on the IR. And Chase Edmonds just got hurt and went on the IR. Not that it matters, but who's going to run the ball for the Broncos?
So I think Boone is...
Let Russ cook.
Yeah. Latavius Murray is a thing. He's a warm body, and I think Boone comes off of IR this week.
Wow.
Man, it is. That's it. It is not looking good there for the Broncos. All right. One last absolute dust game, then we'll get to a couple good ones here for you, Cleve. Cowboys 40 at the Vikings 3.
Whew, that was a trouncing.
Cleve, this was America's game of the week on Fox. So you know what that means for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, it's like he's like going to the ball, and when the clock strikes 12, he turns into a pumpkin or something. Like he can't play when the lights are bright. Jesus.
At the stroke of midnight, he turns into Zach Wilson.
Or worse. Turns into Hackett. I don't. You know what? I'll go on record because I told someone privately that they're a sneaky good team, but after seeing that, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, so they are actually they might be a sneaky bad team. Cleve, the Vikings are 8-2, and they have
Ben. I gotta do it for Ben. Hold that. Hello, my barber. Hello, my honey. Hello, my honey. Fuck, man.
The Vikings have a negative point differential, and they're 8-2.
Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah,
that was insane.
So they might actually be a sneaky bad team. Although I think they really should be like 6-4. I don't think they're a bad team, but they should be more like 6-4. However, the reason that there's two reasons that the Cowboys ran away with this game. The first one, Scott, Micah Parsons, 9 pressures, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 31% pressure percentage.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I want to say the Minnesota left tackle got hurt too, so it's like
he did. Darisaw did get hurt early in this game, and the backup, I think, is me. So I apologize to the fans of Minnesota. I did the best I could.
Yeah. He had a good game.
Yeah, Michael Parsons, absolute monster. Now, Cleve is trying to put it out there that I said the Zach Wilson pick was a good pick. I did not say that. I said Scott said he has good upside. I did, however, say the Micah Parsons pick was a bad pick because he was drafted to be an off-ball linebacker, but it turns out he's Lawrence Taylor.
But nobody was talking about him like this.
No, nobody was. This is completely out of left field.
Yes.
Yeah. The game slows down for him. Like I think the plan is to let him roam like you did LT. Like let him. They don't have him like playing, one side. They kind of move him around and just tell him to just go. Like don't stunt too much. Just go.
Yeah.
The other guys are gonna pick up the trash or whatever. Just get there.
Yes. He is incredible. He really is. I mean, there's no other way to describe what he is like as a pass rusher. It's unbelievable.
Yes. Now, Cleve, you were a big Lawrence Taylor guy.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair comparison. Do you think it's a fair comparison?
I mean, of guys that we talked about in the last, few, since Lawrence retired, this is a good comparison. I was high on Khalil Mack, a few years ago, but then that kind of, died off, burned off. But Micah, the way he's scheming, the way they're scheming him, it's very scary comparisons. But LT obviously is LT, super explosive out of a cannon.
Right.
But Micah, and I think he's having fun out there, and he knows that he's going to be the guy. He's beating that guy.
And he's a New Jersey kid.
Yeah.
Okay. The second reason, Cleve, that the Cowboys won this game, Tony Pollard. 15 carries for 80 yards, 6 catches, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
We always joke offline about Zeke getting that smock ready for his shift. I think he has to bedazzle the smock now and put a little flair on it because he's gonna be wearing that smock real soon.
My question is, with Zeke's hurt knee, will he be able to stack up the big screen TVs at the front of Costco for Black Friday?
I don't know. He's gotta, bro. The writing's on the wall. Jerry can say all he want that Zeke's part of this game plan, but that offense looks super more explosive with Pollard catching and running. Yeah, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, no, this dude is. I mean, Tony Pollard's the real deal. We've all kind of known it for a while, but now the Cowboys can't ignore it, and I think like they're going to be forced into doing the right thing here, which is Pollard gets 20 to 25 touches a game, and Zeke gets 12, but he gets all of them at the goal line.
Yeah, red zone package only.
Yeah, which is kind of where he belongs. All right, we have a kind of good game next. Bengals 37 at the Steelers 30. The reason I wanted to bring this one up is that we had been discussing whether or not the Bengals could get their offense going without Jamar Chase. Remember, 2 weeks ago, Joe Mixon scored 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Then they had the bye. Then they come back this week. And the answer is definitely yes. So in this game, Joe Burrow goes 24 of 39, 359, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. T. Higgins, 9 catches for 148 yards. But Clev, a real person named Samaje Perine, 4 catches, 52 yards, and 3 touchdowns out of the backfield.
Oh my God. That's a real person? Jesus.
That is a real person. I can guarantee you Scott had a full draft take ready to go on Samaje Perine.
Many years ago, yes.
Yeah, because he ran for like 400 yards in one game in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, so also note, running backs don't matter. Joe Mixon scores 5 touchdowns, gets a concussion. Here comes Samaje Perine, 3 receiving touchdowns. Just they don't matter at all. The other thing to note in this game, though, is the Steelers. The Steelers did score 30 points in this game, and it's the first time we've actually seen their offense do anything this year, Scott.
Yeah. It's interesting because it seems like Deontay Johnson and George Pickens have sort of flipped places going forward. Like, if Pickett's not going to give Deontay a chance to make plays in the contested catch game, they're wasting him, if that makes sense. But Pickens, I think Pickens is a dog.
Yes.
I really do. And it's like, I mean, we should have seen this with the limited stuff that he showed, last year, kind of shushing the Michigan sideline and then sending cornerback who stepped up to press him, on into the moon kind of. Yeah,
stuff. that was first round pick Dax Hill.
Like, I mean, we should have seen that this was coming, and he fits perfectly in that city, like just everything he does. It'll be interesting to see how they round that out. Freiermuth is a good player. Najee Harris is a good player. I don't think he's fully recovered from his foot injury that he suffered in camp. He's looking a little better, but there were a couple weeks there where he looked washed. He looked like a 30-year-old running back.
He looked like Trent Richardson.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, I think if you're, if you project it a few years down the line, that offense looks pretty good. It's just, what's the role for Deontay Johnson? What's the role for Pickens? And, how does it all shake out? It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, whoever takes over at coach there is going to have some pieces to work with, I think.
Yeah.
Also, Kenny Pickett better than Zach Wilson, right? Fair to say.
Yeah, a little bit.
See, Scott still can't bring himself to say it.
I can't.
Scott, just 2-3 more weeks of 77 yards, you'll be right there with us.
You mean on Madden? You mean on Madden while Joe Flacco's quarterbacking the Jets?
Man.
All right, Cleve. Last one.
My experience with the whole thing is things are never as bad as they seem, and they're never as good as they seem. That's it.
I don't know. Joey Harrington seemed as bad as he seemed.
when we got guys flinging it for 300 plus yards, right? In what universe do we think 77 yards is going to make an impact? Like, that defense has to be out there for the entire game just to hold the other team down.
Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson.
You can't do that.
No, Zach Wilson is short. EJ Manuel. All right.
Wow.
Oh my God.
The next game here in Cleve. The last one I wanted to be sure to get in with you here in case you have to drop off. Chiefs 30 at the Chargers 27.
Yeah.
Cleve, when the Chiefs got the ball back down 27-23 with 1:46 left in the game, how sure were you the Chiefs were going to win the game?
I was like 90%.
Yeah, I was at like 99%.
Yeah, because Mahomes' red zone is like the 40.
Yeah, just unbelievable. So for this note, I wrote down, how do the Chiefs look without two of their top three wide receivers? No Mecole Hardman, no Juju Smith-Schuster. Kadarius Toney pulls his hamstring like on the third snap, misses the game, and it doesn't matter because of Travis Kelce. Scott, Travis Kelce, 6 catches, 115 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Aren't you glad you took him first overall?
I am. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just the gap between he and the next and tight end 2 is so huge. It's just not. It's ridiculous, and it's not like they had it. Like they lost Tony in the game. He didn't play much.
Yep.
They have no running game. I mean, was it Justin Watson, the other guy he was throwing to? Who else?
This is why I campaign for Mahomes to be MVP. If the race ended today, he's the definition of what MVP is. Like that's. Like, he's the guy that's going to get people involved. I mean, like you said, Dave, anybody can show up in a uniform, and you're going to be part of this game plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sky Moore had 6 catches in this game.
He did. He looked good.
Wow.
So Sky Moore coming on here a little bit. Yeah, Cleve. Mahomes 20 of 34, 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah, I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
Yeah, there was just like no doubt in my mind. In fact, as I was like jotting down the notes as the game was happening, when they got the ball back down 27-23, I actually put down as like a Chiefs win. Like I started writing notes as if the Chiefs had won.
I said 90% because fumbles or a deflection off a lineman's hand or something, and then the ball, the ball's picked. So that's why I said 90%. But I was very high on like this game is over.
And
like,
Dave, you would put another Facebook with a little chat going on with a Chargers fan, and it was like, it's coming, right?
Yeah.
I know it's coming.
Yeah. No, Jake the Chargers fan was already getting the shit, and they hadn't even lost the game yet. Everybody just knew it was going to happen.
Justin Herbert looked good.
So did Josh Palmer, Scott. 8 for 106 and 2 touchdowns. Props to you. You did call that one.
When did I call that one?
Most of the offseason. I'm pretty sure you said he was the best third wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just the upside of playing in that offense. I mean, nobody knew that Mike Williams was going to hurt his ankle again on the first catch. But after that, it's like, Keenan Allen back in the lineup and, something other than just Josh Palmer opened it up for him. He looked good. He looked better than he has in a couple weeks.
Yeah, Cleve. So Mike Williams tells the pregame reporter that his ankle is 200%. Then he gets hurt on the first play and misses the rest of the game.
Wow. Find that reporter and fire him on the spot.
No, the reporter didn't say it. Mike Williams said it to them.
He said it. Oh.
Yeah, he was a little overconfident. Yeah.
Wow.
And it wasn't like he got tackled. He just caught a pass going out of bounds, and he's been dealing with the high ankle sprain thing, and it looked like, he's not comfortable at all.
Yeah, that's a hard one to come back from. High ankle sprains are very finicky, and that can keep you out a while.
And even when you come back, you struggle.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And what's the story with the setback? Like, if you suffer a little setback, are you back to 0 again, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Much. High ankle, because sprains are in grades. Like a grade 1, grade 2. Yeah. High ankle sprain, obviously it is what it is. It's heading into like the lower part of the femur.
Yeah.
So it does affect you a little different, and if you re-aggravate that, you're back to square one.
So he could be out for another 4 to 6 weeks, possibly.
More so. Well, everyone's different. I'm learning as I progress through my training stuff. Everyone's different because you got these freaks of nature. I mean, these guys are the 1% of the 1%. But it depends on how he aggravated it. If it was like he was right at being healed and it happened, or if he was still tender and then now it happened again. So different things happen with that. But high ankle sprains are the worst ones to get.
No, absolutely. High ankle sprains.
I mean, he looked very uncomfortable very quickly.
Kamara came back with one, struggled for the entire season. Jerry Jeudy last year came back, struggled for the entire season. There's Michael Thomas. There's been a few where high ankle sprains are rough.
And Buda Baker's back after 2 games, and he looks totally fine. It's weird.
Yeah,
maybe Buda's the 1% of the 1% that you're talking about.
Yeah, it really depends on the person.
Yeah.
Okay, Cleve. Do you want to drop off, laugh at Aaron Rodgers, or laugh at Cliff Kingsbury?
I can go to the 45-minute mark. It's 36 minutes right now on this.
I got you. All right, we're gonna laugh at Aaron Rodgers. So last week the Packers beat Dallas at home. Big game, all that, and we were like, okay, they had some offense here. Christian Watson 3 touchdowns. Are they starting to put it together? Are they going to be able to do something? Nope. Titans 27, Packers 17 last Thursday night. The Packers were flat everywhere. Christian Watson did get 4 catches, 48 yards, and 2 more touchdowns, but the offense as a whole was flat. Traylon Burks for the Titans go 7 catches for 111 yards. And Scott, the Packers are actually done, right?
Yeah, mathematically, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they have to be at this point looking like there's so many teams that they'd have to jump.
Yeah.
To get themselves into contention, one of them being the Lions, which is nuts. I mean, it's just crazy to think about it.
Forward down the field.
It's true. I think they're done at this point. I do. I mean,
so he's put.
It's always it's always
decorations.
What's that?
He's putting up Christmas decorations early this year, Aaron is?
I don't know if he is, but I feel like it's a good time to be able to talk about them being done. But historically, that's been a very bad idea. But I do think this is different.
By putting up Christmas decorations, Cleves means doing shrooms with Jim Irsay.
Oh,
okay. Getting his beak wet.
Getting his beak wet. I think, it's interesting. If you read the side effects of the whole ayahuasca stuff, and not being conspiratorial or any of that kind of stuff, but he's talked openly about doing this stuff recently. And it's like, you look like a guy who is dealing with some of the, stuff that would be left over from that.
He's doing some DMT.
Does. Yeah.
Great word, by the way, Scott. That's a great word. I don't think Aaron Rodgers probably knows that word.
Yeah, I'm happy to see them done.
We all have our crosses to bear.
Now, on the Titans side of this, last week I bet the Jags to be able to win this division because the Titans had such a tough schedule. But going to Lambeau on a Thursday night with the Packers coming off a win was one of those games. The Titans winning this game here, I think only the Chiefs are a better lock for the playoffs now. I think the Titans are going to win this division, and I'm just out some money, and it doesn't matter. It's going to be the same thing as last year. Like, they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to get destroyed by the Dolphins or something, but they're still going to make it.
Yeah.
All right.
And Tannehill will be Tannehill, and he'll be a problem.
All right, we got a couple more minutes here for Cleve, so we're going to now jump to Monday night, from Thursday night to Monday night, so we can make fun of Cliff Kingsbury. So hopefully we see him fired on television on Hard Knocks. 49ers 38, Cardinals 10.
Whew, man.
Not great.
First thing on this game, did y'all see the footage from the pregame show on ESPN where they show the players walking in?
No. What happened?
So they show Jimmy G walking in, right? He's got this like really dapper, I don't know if it's like, it wasn't maroon, it wasn't mauve, but some like off pink purple suit, right? Just super handsome, right? Just walking in looking like, just all suave.
Gray hair going on too.
Yeah, like perfect salt and pepper, like just like a model, right? Walking in.
Yeah, then this motherfucker rolls up in this game and I want to punch my TV.
Yes, and so then they cut to Colt McCoy, who's in like a button-down, like polo thing. His hair's all messed up. His badge is swinging everywhere.
Greatest quarterback name I've ever heard, Colt McCoy. You can't make that up.
The ESPN did not have to do him like that. You could have called Colt McCoy first. It was B-roll. It wasn't live. You didn't have to show.
It was a total compare-contrast thing. It really was.
Jimmy G.
He's really handsome. Yeah.
Jimmy G walking in the game like tan Thor, and then they cut to Colt McCoy, who looks like Aaron Rodgers' ayahuasca partner.
Woo.
It was, and it got worse from there for Colt McCoy. So there was a stretch in this game where Nick Bosa stepped on his hand, stepped on his fingers. The next play, he got drilled on a blitz up the middle. Nobody picked up. And I told Megan, we were watching, and I was like, he's made like $75 million in the last decade. If he just got up and walked out of the tunnel, would anybody blame him?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I think he would be fine financially.
I wouldn't even judge him.
Sign up for this shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, or just like because this game was played in Mexico City, he just like jumps in the front row, grabs a churro. He's like, you know what? I'm a fan. I'm not doing this anymore.
Oh my god.
Yeah, as far as the 49ers go, Scott, I did think the 49ers played a near perfect game for the way that they want to play. Jimmy G, 4 touchdowns, spreads the ball around. Ayuk gets 2, Debo gets 1. Debo got a rushing touchdown, Kittle 2 receiving touchdowns, Ayuk 2 receiving touchdowns, CMC involved in the game, Elijah Mitchell involved in the game. Scott, if the 49ers are playing like this.
In that game, a single moment where Garoppolo, he threw a pass where you thought that's a dangerous play. Like, there's literally no danger in what they do on offense. None.
And everybody's always open.
And they're super explosive. It's like, okay, how do you defend all this stuff? I don't know.
Cleve, remember when I told you to bet the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl, and then you didn't do it, and all the value went away?
Yeah.
Bet the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl.
Okay. So I'll give you $1 for your input there.
Yeah. Now remember, if it doesn't hit and you get mad at me, you have to fight yourself.
How's that look?
I get
in the mirror.
I get a Zach Wilson tattoo on my neck.
Just full Fight Club style.
Full Fight Club style with 77 yards on the other side.
Who would be a better quarterback for the Jets right now, Zach Wilson or Tyler Durden?
I'll take Tyler Durden, because then when we lose, he said, "Well, you're imagining me."
Yeah, well, I think Scott's good Zach Wilson quarterback is about as real as Tyler Durden.
Wow.
I'm not saying it. It's a legit thing. Whatever talent he brought with him to the NFL is still there.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
He had a great pro day throw. That's it.
He had a great pro day throw against air.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
And that was his entire BYU career.
Exactly. Hey, Dave, I'm with you on this, man. I am with you on this. I have seen nothing, Scott, that can make me feel good about, like, the rest of the way. When this team is poised to kind of win, and he is the anchor keeping it down. The albatross.
And
they're going to have to go away from him.
To segue into our next game here, as Cleve drops off at the 45-minute mark, Cleve, do you know who the Jets play this week?
No. Who we got?
The Bears. Justin Fields is coming to the Meadowlands.
So he might show us this is what you get for not drafting me.
Exactly.
Is he going to play?
Hey, they said he's day-to-day with the shoulder, so.
I hope he rushes for 77 yards.
It would be great if he rushed for more yards than Zach Wilson threw for.
Oh, I would bet that he will. Yeah.
All right, guys, I got a tango.
All right, man. Have a good Thanksgiving.
You guys have a great Thanksgiving. All the listeners, thank you so far for sticking with us, man. We're having fun doing this. Trust me. It's sometimes, you see I'm in my car doing this. And again, these are two great co-hosts that I get to do this with every week, and just looking forward to, tough sledding the rest of the way. But you guys be safe. Have a great Thanksgiving. Be thankful. Be who you guys play on Thanksgiving?
Buffalo. Thanks for bringing it up.
We have to talk about this because there's signs of life there.
Oh yeah,
wow.
we'll be getting to it.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving, Cleve.
You too, sirs. Bye.
Peace. All right. Okay. So I'm just setting you up, Scott, for when Zach Wilson ends up being good, you could just get yourself a victory lap. But it's not going to happen.
See, I don't even buy it. It's going to happen at this point because there's just too much. The field, to me, it's almost like he doesn't care. Like he's been maybe this coddled sort of. It's always just went my way, and I'll figure it out. But that's not how this goes. Like he's lost the room. There's nobody in that room that would probably go out of their way to help him right now.
Yeah.
That is not good.
No.
Not good.
No, it's not.
Immaturity too. It's like, the combination of factors that are against him right now are so big that I think they're he's not overcoming them soon.
No,
he's just not.
No, maybe with the Arizona Rattlers, he'll have a shot. Okay, so the next game here I want to get into, and then the Lions. Bears 24 at the Falcons 27. So Justin Fields again, 14 of 21, 153, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Not the best passing line, I will admit. 18 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown, however. But again, Scott, the Bears are unable to win this game. And I feel like just watching Fields play now, it's just clear that the rest of this team just is not good enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, sure. And he's had to take on so much in the rushing side of things and expose himself to injury.
Yeah, you don't want 18 carries for not even the Ravens want 18 carries for Lamar.
No, and that's kind of where we talked for a couple of weeks about Fields, and to me it's like it's unsustainable. The 12 to 15 carries a game, it's just unsustainable long term. But so Fields goes in the locker room after the game, after they lose, and puts it on himself.
Yeah,
last week. And his teammates had to tell him to pretty much shut up because, we know you hurt yourself and you're out there and you're giving it everything you got. That's how Zach Wilson needs to handle things.
Yes.
And that's just that. There's your diametrically opposed leadership styles.
Yep.
I think Fields has shown so much already this year that they should be all in on helping him with weapons.
Yeah.
And you need to let him run. You need to have components of running for him, but you need to give him help too.
I mean, in the NFL, even the top rushing quarterbacks, you want to have about 12 carries a game, maybe 8 by design, a couple at the goal line of those, and then some scrambles, right? You don't ever want it to be the primary thing they do.
No.
But you have to in this case, or else the Bears can't win. Like, their only chance to win is to run Justin Fields, and it's still not working.
Yes. and they're just not able to get over, late in games. But they just have to be thrilled that they gave up what they gave up 2 years ago in the draft.
Yeah.
And it looks like the way it looks already. I mean, it's pretty remarkable how good it looks. It really does.
Yes.
Now, as a runner, as a passer, we'll see. He has to develop.
Yes, but he's improving pretty rapidly even in that area, and that's also where they are so deficient. I mean, Darnell Mooney is a good number 2, but they don't, they just don't have anything out there.
And that's curious what they did with Claypool, because you gave up a second for Claypool, but I don't think he fits Fields.
It's for next year. I think they're going to make him fit.
It's just, you need to change. I'm with you. I mean, it's, it has to be for next year because it's not helping.
It's after this year. He's coming in and get familiar with the culture, the coaches, or whatever, and the next offseason going through. I think they have some plans for Claypool to see how that works. Now, on the Falcons side of this, Kyle Pitts knee injury on the IR, out at least 4 weeks. I would think he's probably done for the season, but if he can come back, the Falcons keep winning just enough to where they're going to keep playing Mariota and not get a look at Ritter.
Which is bad.
Yes, it's very bad because they don't know what to do for 2023 then.
Yes. So what do you do when you move away from Mariota and you have no idea what you have?
Right.
This is the quarterback conundrum right now.
Yeah.
And the Lions might find themselves in this boat this year. Like when you draft Anthony Richardson, let's say with pick 7 or 10, whatever it is, and he does need to sit for a year, right? Or 6 games or whatever it is, and then you won't take the opportunity to see what he has. You've lost a year of developing him, or at least understanding what it is that you have.
And it's slightly different, I think, between Atlanta and Tennessee, because Tennessee with Tannehill and Willis, Tennessee is going to win their division. Tannehill is proven in that system. Yeah. Like Derrick Henry is only got so much time left. You can see an argument
that a 1-year plaller who's gone next year. Yeah.
Right. And so, but if they are winning games, can they just go to an Ellinger thing and go to Ritter? Like, what if he's just so terrible?
Then
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So I actually think the Falcons are in a rough position, in a much more rough position than some teams with worse records than them. Like, I'd rather be Houston right now than Atlanta.
Yeah.
Drake London is a hit. So, and so's Pitts. So London and Pitts, having those two is pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's really good. It's just you got to the quarterback position needs to be. It's the same thing. Like we're going to talk about it in Detroit. Other places where there's change happening. Until you get that resolved. Although I will tell you, if you look at what the Lions have on offense right now, with that offensive line, it is a completely different place than you would normally draft a top flight quarterback to. Does that make sense?
Yes, and that's a perfect segue. Next game, Lions 31, the Giants 18. The Lions offensive line and Aiden Hutchinson, the two differences in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they nullified a really effective defensive front. Dexter Lawrence is a really good football player.
Yes.
I'm having a brain cramp and I can't remember is it Fletcher? It's not Fletcher Cox. Who's the
Leonard Williams?
What?
Leonard Williams.
Leonard Williams, yes. Very, very good football player.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lions just kind of handled those guys.
Yeah.
They really did. Both teams struggled to defend the run and gave up a ton of rushing touchdowns in the in the pregame stuff that I looked at. So I expected some running. I expected some ground scores, but the Lions just, we're running it in this gap and we're telling you that's what we're doing. Stop it. Okay. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how good it looked.
And on the reverse side, Saquon Barkley in this game, 15 carries for 22 yards.
Bizarre. What happened?
That is such an outlier performance. I feel bad even giving Aaron Glenn credit because I'm like, what actually happened here?
Though. Like, there's something that went on there.
Yeah. I mean,
and
15
you're right.
for
Hutchinson
22
was awesome.
Yeah. Another interception. This dude's all over the field. And I said it before. I'll say it again.
Not your typical sort of lollipop, easy interception. This was dropping him off into a zone coverage and forcing him to read the eyes of the quarterback. And Jones rips a pass in there. And the catch he makes, Dave, is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
I know I'm going overboard about a stupid catch for a defensive end, but the catch was silly. Like,
Well, I don't know that it's overboard. Athleticism is important for defensive ends. And so showing that sort of athleticism, we saw TJ Watt with the crazy interception too. Right.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
We never saw Luther Ellis with a crazy pick.
No, but it's like when you're on the edge and you're smart enough, and this is how many weeks have we seen now where Hutchinson is recognized as a rookie that something's fishy, and I'm dropping away from the line of scrimmage because something's up, and you got an Aaron Rodgers pick, and now you got a pick here. He had a bit of a hustle fumble recovery.
Yep.
He's all over the place. Is he destroying blockers? Like either the Bosa's did or Myles Garrett? No, but he's played really well. And done. He's been as good as any defensive rookie there. So to me this year, he has.
I'd still give the edge to Sauce, but
yeah.
Hutch is really good. All right, so before you get out of here to go be a good dad, whatever.
Well, it's too late for that.
Okay. Well, before you try to go get out of the red, let's talk about
Buffalo really fast because I was there for that game.
That's where I'm going. Browns 23 at Bills 31. Great minds think alike. Fools really differ. All that. Browns 23, Bills 31. So my question that I wrote down for this game was, will the move to Detroit impact the Bills? And I think that clearly, yes. Like the Bills started slow. They were out of sync. They clearly didn't practice for this game. Did you have the same impression watching in person?
100%. They looked frustrated and rattled. Specifically, Josh Allen did. But the one thing that stood out to me, I watched warm-ups because I wanted to see how he was throwing. And I watched the game. And he is nowhere near throwing the ball with the velocity he was 6 weeks ago. It's not even close.
No, not at all.
He still has plenty of arm strength. He can make touch throws and get the ball down the field, but he's not challenging the deeper parts of the field. And he looked super frustrated because he couldn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're telling him not to, or if they're running, if their designs are shorter, more shallow routes. But he seemed very frustrated in the first half. But yeah, his arm. I'm not saying it's lifeless because that's unfair. But there is a noticeable gap in what arm strength looked like 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, whenever it was, as to now. If Josh Allen is not challenging the back half of your defense, it does make it easier to cover those guys. It just does. Having said that,
and they can't really run.
Yes, they can't. But their defense is really good. Stephon Diggs is still really good. Dawson Knox is good. Gabe Davis is good. That's a really, really good football team. Like, I don't know how they did it, but they obliterated the Browns.
Yes,
they did.
Yeah, the game wasn't close.
No, it ended up kind of rallying a little bit to make the score a little closer than it was, but no, it was not close. No.
On the other side of this scale, I mean, I hate to say this. I hated myself when I was writing this now, but just in terms of football on the field, the Browns should be excited for their team next year.
Yes.
And I hate to say it because Deshaun Watson sucks. That organization sucks. And I hate everything about them besides Nick Chubb and Donovan Peoples-Jones. But
but you look at Amari Cooper and Peoples-Jones and Njoku and the ability to run the ball and bringing on other pieces and throwing in Deshaun Watson with that offensive line. that's a much better team than what they are. They're 3-7 right now, and yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Yep. I think they have a much brighter future. All right. I take it this means that you're dropping off as well.
I'm out. I apologize.
All right, sir.
But it is, it's my kid's 15th birthday. I got to be a part of it.
Not a problem. I'm going to soliloquy about Baker Mayfield, so I'm sure this will be riveting radio.
Fun. That'll be great. Thanks, Dave. See ya.
Yep. I'll see you later. All right, everybody. This is a first in the history of the show for actually discussing football things. It's going to be just me for a little bit. So if you're watching live and you want to ask questions in the chat, feel free. I'm just going to go through some of the games we haven't touched on yet. Probably not for too long here. I do have notes. I always take notes on everything. So the first game here that we didn't get to, we have the Commanders 23 at the Texans 10. And before this game, my thought that I had was, will Taylor Heineke take full control of the quarterback position? And I didn't think the Commanders played particularly well in this game, especially given their opposition, but still they won the game. And so Ron Rivera has named Taylor Heineke the starter going forward. And when asked in the postgame press conference what separated Taylor Heineke from Ron Rivera or from Carson Wentz, Ron Rivera said winning. So that seems pretty cut and dry that they are sick of Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke is going to be the man there moving forward. As far as the Texans go, again, they're just playing out the string. They should lock up the number 1 overall pick, which is good for them. So they have their choice of quarterback. They are talking about benching Davis Mills for Kyle Allen, but that's like the same thing. So I don't know why you would necessarily want to do that. You might as well see what Mills has. It's not like Kyle Allen is never going to develop. So I don't really understand that line of thought, but might as well try something. Next game here, we've got the Rams 20 at the Saints 27. This is a game that did in fact happen. I don't know that I can recall anything that actually happened in this game besides a bomb from Matt Stafford to Tutu Atwell. And I do wish Clev was still here because this was going to be a real person named Tutu Atwell. I could save that for his next touchdown catch in 2026. Can the Rams do anything without Cooper Kupp was the question I had. And the answer, I think, is just no, not really. I mean, Allen Robinson had a few catches. Tyler Higbee had some catches. Just weird. And then after this game, they cut Darrell Henderson after Cam Akers wanted to trade and couldn't get traded. So to me, this means that it's Kyron Williams' season, rookie out of Notre Dame. Paul, I know it's going to make you very happy to have the Notre Dame kid getting some run here, but I don't see the Rams being able to do much. And that's good for the Lions because they do hold the Rams' first round pick because of the trade for Matt Stafford. And right now that pick is worth the 7th overall pick. But if, things keep going this way, that could actually sneak into a top 5 pick. Here as we get closer to the draft. On the Saints side, Chris Olave caught a long touchdown, 5 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown. He's an absolutely legit NFL wide receiver. And other than that, I don't remember much from this game. I don't think this game matters. I think this is a game between two basically meaningless teams for like the storyline of the season, right? The only thing that matters for them are the things that matters with them. They're not making the playoffs. They're not going to do anything. The next game here was actually an interesting one. Panthers 3 at the Ravens 13. This game was 3-3 going into the fourth quarter. And my note going in was, can the Ravens smash an inferior opponent? And the thing is, they couldn't. They got Mark Andrews back for this game. He goes 6 for 69, I believe. But it didn't matter. And thankfully for the Ravens, Baker Mayfield is so bad that the Panthers couldn't do anything. In this game, Baker goes 21 of 33 for 196 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. Baker Mayfield and Zach Wilson might be the same person at this point. I don't see much difference between them in the way that they play or how effective they are. So when I was writing up my initial notes for this game a couple days ago, I said that the Panthers should for sure start Sam Darnold going forward, and they have turns out they are going to do that. So Sam Darnold is going to play. For fantasy purposes, I think this is very important for DJ Moore. if you're holding a lot of DJ Moore and best ball, which I don't know who could possibly be in that position, this is good news. This because PJ Walker was good for DJ Moore, Baker Mayfield is not, but Sam Darnold will look for DJ Moore down the field. As far as the Ravens go, the Bengals have looked pretty good lately, but I still think the Ravens are going to be the best team to make it out of the AFC North, win that division. But if they don't start playing better, they have no hope, right? They win the AFC North. They host a wild card game against the Patriots. Win that game and then go to Buffalo and die. Like, they need to figure something out here. Their defense did play a lot better in this game, but again, I think it's because they were playing Baker Mayfield. I don't think that is because of anything that the Ravens did necessarily. So that is it for the games that I did not get to with my co-hosts here, as we didn't want to give away. Clev was on the space station, and Scott, I think it's one of the kids' birthdays, something like that. So before we go here, I'm going to pull up this screen. Let me see here as I click through. How does this look? Oh, it looks pretty good. All right. So I'll pull up the schedule for coming up for this week. Besides Thanksgiving, I've not actually looked at the schedule yet. So my thoughts on this are going to be just completely live, like Bill O'Reilly, as we go through and take a look at this here. So on Thanksgiving Day, 3 games, of course. Lions always a 12:30 game. They host the Buffalo Bills. I know Scott's a little optimistic. He thinks that Josh Allen can't really throw the ball downfield, all that. I think that the Lions could be in trouble in this game. And I don't think that reflects as poorly on the Lions as it's going to look. I just think the Bills need a real get-right spot, and this is going to be it. The 4:30 game, Giants at Cowboys. The Giants just came off of losing at home, getting stomped at home really by the Lions. Ben, I will not be singing the Michigan J Frog song. I will not be singing anywhere that can record me ever for the rest of the time. They just come off getting smashed by the Lions at home. The Cowboys just absolutely obliterated the Vikings on the road. So this is one of those games where it's just obvious that the Cowboys are going to win by a million. I'm not so sure. I do think the Cowboys will win this game. I don't think they're going to actually blow the Giants out. I think the Giants are going to have a strong base to go off of based on what the Chicago Bears did with their running game with Justin Fields. The Giants have Daniel Jones. I think they can play him a little bit closer. The nightcap on Thanksgiving is Patriots at Vikings. I mean, on the one hand, you'd like to think this could be an exciting game, but it's Kirk Cousins in primetime. So now that we got Kirk Cousins in primetime, which will probably lead to Clev singing Michigan J next week, this could easily be like a 13-10 game in a dome, which is too bad. I'd love to see Justin Jefferson just go insane here and absolutely crush the Patriots, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. I think the Vikings might actually be reeling, and they might not be that good to begin with. I mean, they're good. They're like 6-4 good, but they might not be that good. All right, now to the games I haven't seen yet. All right. Texans at Dolphins. GG Texans. If you're playing DFS this week, 2 double stacks are going to be excessively chalk. So if you're going to play that lineup, play 2 lineups. Play one that's also not that, because everybody's going to have that one. But it's going to be a good one. I think the Dolphins are candidate to get 50 in this one. Bengals at Titans. God, is Jamar Chase going to be back? If Jamar Chase comes back for this game, then this game gets a lot more interesting. Without Jamar Chase, though, I think the Titans at home are the type of team that can give the Bengals a lot of fits. And I would actually think I might take the Titans straight up in this one, even though I think the Bengals are all around the better team. It's close, though. Broncos at Panthers, my God. I was going to say who cares, but just go Panthers. Panthers 31-3, and that's finally Black Monday. Get heck out of here. Right? Could you imagine Sam Darnold comes in for the first time in 19 years and goes for like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Broncos? That could finally get this job done. We had mentioned the Bears and the Jets already. Obviously, I'm in the bag for Justin Fields because I've been so on board with him as a prospect in his time as a pro. And I did say that the Jets should have drafted Justin Fields. I said at the time they should take Justin Fields and not Zach Wilson. So hope Fields is able to play and hope he shows the Jets what they're missing. Falcons are coming to my neck of the woods. Falcons are coming to play the Commanders. I mean, I don't know why either of these teams really wants to win this game. I guess technically they could still be in the playoff hunt, the winner of this game. But again, this is like the Saints-Rams game. These teams are just kind of there. Buccaneers back in action. They are at the Browns. At first, I thought this was the Deshaun Watson return game, which from a football perspective would make it interesting. But it's not. This is going to be Brissett's last game. But this is a good measure for how fraudulent the Bucs are. On the road, bad weather, most likely up in Cleveland. Can Tom Brady show up, get the win? If so, the Bucs might not just be a weak division winner. They might be a team that can do a little something in the playoffs. Ravens are at the Jaguars. Again, Ravens got to get right here. This needs to be like a 2-touchdown victory. Just show they can do it. The Raiders are at the Seahawks. You know what? Everybody's going to be playing those two double stacks. I think the Geno Smith double stacks coming back with Devontae Adams, if you can afford it, that could be. Oh, you know what? Foster Moreau, Geno to Lockett and Metcalf, Foster Moreau on the bring back. That could be a little decent this week. I might have a little bit of that. Obviously, I think the Seahawks will win that game. Boy, was I wrong about them in the preseason. Chargers at Cardinals. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Chargers are injured, but they just played the Chiefs so tight. Even though this game's on the road, I can't see. Kyler will be back, though. The Cardinals have a chance in this one. They have a chance this one, and they might even know they're playing for Cliff's job. So if they want him to stick around, we might get the Cardinals' best effort here. That I think it's going to be a good one. Chargers at Cardinals, 405. I think it's going to be a good game all the way through. Not sure who wins that one. Saints at 49ers, slaughter. I mean, the 49ers, now they're only 6-4, but they're hitting their stride. They've added CMC. 49ers versus Eagles, NFC title game. And I think the 49ers, again, continue to make a statement by just absolutely handling the Saints, taking out the trash. Last Sunday afternoon game, we got the Rams at the Chiefs. Marquee matchup before the year. Now just an absolute embarrassment. I'm got 538 up on a different screen, and they've got the Chiefs as a 90% favorite to beat the Rams. I don't know if y'all remember. A couple years ago, 2018, I believe, Rams Chiefs Monday night. I think it was in Mexico City. Game was like 54-51. Maybe it was 2019. Absolutely bonkers game. Not going to happen this time. The Rams at Arrowhead, the sun is going down. That's going to be bad. Ben says Chargers easy over the Cardinals. Ben messaged me after the program. We can just leave the sports books out of this one. I think I might take the Cardinals in the points. I'm sure the Chargers are favored. I might take the Cardinals in the points. We'll talk. Sunday night, Packers at Eagles. Again, preseason marquee matchup. Now I think the Eagles are just going to handle their business here. I think they're just going to handle the Packers no problem here, keep it moving. Now, for the Eagles, handling no problem means winning 23-17, but it's sort of like a boa constrictor fashion. I don't think it's going to be like 50-10, anything quite like that. And then the Monday night game, oh my God, where is Clev so you could puke on air again? The Monday night game, Steelers at Colts. We couldn't flex that one. My goodness. Okay, so we get an entire day of all the ESPN talking heads just tongue-bathing Jeff Saturday leading into this game. In a game the Colts could win. So the Colts win their first game, look good in a loss in his second game, and now could win the third game. This Jeff Saturday thing could end up being a thing. I'm just going to real quick scan down and see who the Colts have. Oh, the Colts at the Cowboys the next week. Okay, so that look at Wax there, and that'll be that. But all in all, I think it's a pretty decent slate. The way the NFL scheduled this one is good, finally, because all 32 teams are playing. We have 7 games in the 1 o'clock window, 4 games in the 4 o'clock window. So it's all in all, it's going to be a good week of football. We have Black Friday, of course. You got all the college games. You got Michigan, Ohio State this weekend. The World Cup is going. United States plays on Friday. Yeah, so we've got 3 NFL games plus World Cup on Thursday. The Black Friday college football slate plus World Cup on Friday. Saturday is college football, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Auburn, and World Cup. Sunday, Red Zone and World Cup. This is going to be an absolutely legendary weekend for sports. And I didn't even mention, like, if you're in the NBA or the NHL, shout out to Don. They're going to some Red Wings games over the next couple weeks. I didn't even mention those sports. Yeah, this is a pretty good time to be a sports fan. Well, I got a couple extra minutes here before we get out of here. We'll touch on the World Cup here a little bit. Before the tournament started, I kind of thought that all the favorites were going to just sort of roll through and win, but we've seen Argentina lose to Saudi Arabia. France struggled with Australia for a little bit, then came back and gave them the business. And a lot of teams haven't played their first match yet. England looked good. But I think that we've seen a trend over the last couple tournaments where some of these mid-level teams can rise up, and I think we're going to see that again. And there's no reason why it can't be the United States. I mean, there's many reasons why it can't be the United States. We're an average team at best, but we're also the youngest team in the tournament. And this tournament, I think, is setting up for next time. So on Friday, the United States can get a win over England, which is a huge ask. A huge ask. I think there's a shot that the United States gets ramped up, ready to go for when we host in 4 years in 2026. Presuming Trump loses in 2024 and doesn't ban soccer, that the United States could put themselves in a strong position in 2026. As far as this tournament goes, coming into the tournament, I was on Germany. Of course, they haven't played yet. On the Netherlands, of course, for some reason they had Memphis Depay come off the bench, and then once he came on the pitch at halftime, they scored 2 goals and won. So I don't know what's up with that, but I still think that the Netherlands and Germany are my 2 favorites to win. But man, did England look good? And by the way, if you're listening to this still, thank you. And if you're listening to this and you don't like soccer, well, I'm sorry, but Clev likes soccer too. So. Well, this is actually, this isn't just because I'm here by myself. It is because we do like soccer at this program. And at some point, I do want to discuss, not by myself, but I do want to discuss some of the politics around the World Cup, some of the things that we're seeing there, how people should be protesting against the Qatari laws, banning the sale of alcohol, anti-LGBTQ sort of stuff there, whether FIFA should have put this tournament there in the first place, how corrupt they are. That would actually be a good off-season episode, just the general corruptness of FIFA. I'll have to think about that. All right. If you're in the chat right now, if you have any other questions, get them in quick, or else I'm going to shut this down. I'm just going to make a couple quick predictions here for the upcoming college football weekend. And really just 2. Notre Dame is going to beat USC, and Caleb Williams is going to play his worst game as a Trojan. Unfortunately, in a spot where I need him to play his best game in the fantasy finals, but whatever. Notre Dame is going to beat USC. And for the first time since 2000, Michigan's going to go to Ohio State and win a low-scoring, sloppy football game, but Michigan's going to pull it out. By the way, the last time that Michigan won in Columbus, Blake Corum was not alive. He was born a week later. So, yeah, Notre Dame going to get the win. Michigan going to get the win. Ben, I'm sorry. Michigan State is not going bowling. They are not going to beat Penn State. But look on the bright side. You can always have Amani Bates. Oh, wait, never mind. He plays for Eastern. All right, y'all. Ben is saying to say something about Kanye, so I will not be doing that. Certainly not by myself. I mean, he sounds like he's a jerk, but everybody knows that. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. If you're listening on the audio feed, thank you so much. Appreciate all the listeners. It is a YouTube live stream. There's a link in the show notes. You can listen. Go to the link, subscribe, and get notified of each time we go live. So you can see and watch us in real time, and you can see Cleve in his Blair Witch Project, as Ben said. All right, part of the Matty Ice Media Network, merch available on the website, other great podcasts on the website. The Iceman and Coach show that Matty Ice co-hosts is fantastic. They do a great job sort of looking around the world of sports every single week, so I do recommend checking out that one, and I will see everybody next week. Peace.